Hi everybody, I'm back and I'm here with my very chunky May junk journal. And I'm very excited about how fun it was. It was so fun to play in. So I really liked the fact that it was smaller and I still didn't really even finish it. I loved using these very pretty beads that have a shimmer to it, and they're homemade beads I acquired somewhere, and I think they were given to me in Happy Mail a long time ago. I was very happy to use it, and this long tie was not a problem after all the time I was using it. And of course, if you might remember that this was my masterboard that I had printed up on cardstock. So it turned out really nice and I loved it for the cover. Now, it's kind of it's kind of heavy, and I have a May basket in here, and in this little pocket, this is a little pocket I made last summer, and I have that little journal card, which I haven't put, I have some quotes that I still have to write in here, that it's still May. Today is the 31st, it's still May, but this was another thing, this was another thing that I put in here, and it's a stone. And when my son was building the garden, he saved this stone for me. And he said, I thought you might like this little stone. It was so flat and it was kind of interesting. And I thought, wow, wouldn't that be great to put in the journal? And it's kind of like it has a worry stone feel to it. Has just a little bit of an indentation there where you can kind of rub it for a worry stone. And so I made a little holder for it because no matter where I put it, it was flopping around. So I put it in this little holder, and it works out really nice because it sets down in there. And I used it in the cover because this is the heaviest page. But anyway, that was very fun. I kept my letter pristine, and I didn't do all the pages. There were too many. I did my June journal, and I may give you a sneak peek during this video of the June journal. But I made my June journal just a little bit smaller. May is a much busier month for me, and so and I do have more things actually still to add to it. But this is going to be my final flip through. And again, this was from Linda DeWeese, and that was that pretty envelope that she sent. It was all striped, and then she sent that with it, and that card, and I covered the flap of the envelope with the same napkin that she sent there, and a little sticker. And then this page, I haven't really done much. I'm just going to enjoy my mom's doodling that she did when she was back in 1976, when she used to doodle on envelopes and write down things that she was going to talk to us on the phone, because in those days, if you remember, when you made a phone call, it was expensive and you wanted to make sure you said you got everything out that you wanted to say. I just add a little quote and enjoyed the vintage map. This map was this map book was from the early 50s, I believe. Now, this birthday card was from Karen and Joel, and has a very nice little note in it. I added a couple butterflies to the little garden theme, and a little note to remind me so that I don't have to, I mean, I'll probably take it out, of course, but I like that. And I enjoyed my fairy, so I didn't want to cover her up. But on the other side, this is where I put the flowers. Now, they are turning brown, so I don't know if they will last or if they won't. But those are the flowers that I taped without drying. I taped them on both sides, flattened them out, and then just put this in with double-sided tape. It can come off really easily. I can put something else there if it leaves a mark when I take it out. This card here is a printed card. My sister had these in Etsy years ago, but she doesn't do it anymore. But that's my another sister, and her name, of course, is Janet, and she's my baby sister, the very youngest one. And she has drawn these little girl figures for her whole life. She doodled them for years and years, and then she worked on those and had some printed and sold them on Etsy for a while. So that was kind of fun to get. I didn't have one of the birthday card ones. All my sisters draw. They all have a completely different style than me. They all have a completely different style from themselves. And Karen does the pastels. She doesn't draw per se, but she does. She's good, but she doesn't like what she does. But she does the pastels, and they're just gorgeous, gorgeous pastels. And she has a Instagram, and she gave me a pastel for my birthday, and I will, I should have gone and got it so I could show you. But anyway, let me finish this book, because the book, this is about the journal. So, it is in my birthday video. You can see her pastel in my birthday video. But anyway, that's Janet's. She's the only one that drew me a card, but anyway, that's Janet. And then this is part of the banner that was up, and so I saved one of those. And happy birthday. These little wire things, I bought a bunch of those. I thought they were just as cute as can be, and they're very hard to use, really. And I have a lot of them still, and I've given away a bunch. But anyway, so that's my birthday, and it's my special day, and I really had a good birthday for sure. And then behind this, in this pocket, is a journaling card where I wrote out all the little fun things about my birthday. I just stuck this on really quickly. I didn't even make it a pocket. It's not even stuck all the way on. But as I think of specific events I want to journal, I haven't had a lot of time to journal because I've had company. My sister was here for quite a few days at the end of the month, and I didn't start this journal on May 1st. I believe I started it when the month had already started. So I felt a little bit behind with this, but I loved working in it. I mean, I was in this book every day. I really, really liked it. This page here, this is a pocket. I made I made little tags out of my plants tags that I put in my garden, and I drew some pictures of things I put in my garden, making memories. This is a list of the things that I put in my garden, and then I just did that little tag for later. So I still have, even though it's the end of May, I still have memories of May that I'm not going to put this book away. Things that I think of, I'm still going to go back here and put on my cards because I want to. So anyway, so that's, this is This is the journal fairy, which I just love, the garden fairy that I have. And, you know, just some fun pages on this little tiny one. Another way of doing a garden tag. And I like that because I can write on the back of that. And it fit in really nicely there. And then I had that, I was making ATC. They were the little round ATCs. Okay, and then this here, again, this was the day that I planted the garden, and that was kind of fun. And this page here, I think I showed you my cards. I added a little bit to this one just for fun, because I can't help it. If I see any blank areas, I have to add. And but I love that little homemade card. Oh, I gave her a little crown, and that was kind of fun. This is another one of the flowers that is its petal and a little flowerette off of the bouquet, and the bouquet was all hydrangeas and roses and then some accent flowers. So that's a rose petal and a hydrangea flowerette. And then this says, April showers bring May flowers, and that's so true, very true. This little journaling tag I made, and I did journal on the back of that already. This is a little quote that I thought was very appropriate. It's not the years in your life that count, but the life in your years. And I feel like I've led a very full life. Very nice. Made a little tag here. And I always love empty stickers. So I wanted to save that because I'll peel it off when I finish using the stars and put it somewhere. This page here, didn't do much with that, just because I love the paper as it is. I just love that. And, you know, I want to make sure that you can see these pages, that there's not too much glare. So I'll move it around a little bit, hopefully. I can't see what I'm filming, so maybe I can cut out any parts with glare in it and just do that. This was a tag about Memorial Day, and I did journal on the back of that. There's another tag. I journaled on the back of that. And I just added a flower there. This was another birthday card, and I just loved it. Love cards like this. Did a little watercolor on the back paper to match, and a very beautiful message from my good friend, my best friend. And just absolutely treasure that. I love these little girls. An old-fashioned garden. This was a page in a book I just loved. It's about sisters. I feel like I've spent a lot of time with my sisters this month, just because of it being my birthday. I've had a lot of phone calls from them, not just one phone call, but several phone calls. And I have 3 sisters and 2 sisters-in-law. But this is about sisters, and this is about sister. And I just thought that was very appropriate. It just seems like, and then my one sister did come for the, my closest sister who lives in Florida. The other, I have a sister in Utah and a sister in Southern California. And of course, always love seeing my husband's handwriting. Another card here. Could add more there, but I haven't. This is a journal card, and I journaled about my sister's visit. She came in her RV, and they stayed in the driveway, and they stayed in their house, and we just met up outdoors every day on my front porch or in my patio. We had all our meals outdoors. Tried to stay, 6 feet apart, no hugs, no anything, but we were together for our birthdays. Her birthday is just a few days before mine. And she did come after her birthday, but we still celebrated it. This is one of the new pockets that I made, and I showed you that on my live, and I made a few on my live. This one I made afterwards. I decided I absolutely am in love with this washi tape. Doesn't it just look great on there? I'm very pleased. Sometimes it's just a win-win. Another one of my cards or plant stakes that I will put on a piece of paper so I can journal on it. And I have this bullet journal, and you can journal on the back. Some fabric, some burlap fabric, and my thank you note, which I already showed you before, but it has the sticker that was sent to me from Melnetti, Living Free, Zip Codeless. And she has a very nice YouTube channel all about RVing. So, and there must be something. Oh, I'm missing, that goes in this one. Okay, there we go. So, that's my pockets. Dwell in possibilities. A good reminder always to dwell in possibilities. So, oh, that looks nice. Just tucked in the back like that. Okay. I like that. See, I'm always doing something different. This page here, live your poem. And our life is a poem. So, that just seemed nice. That's what I decided to close up that little tear in the paper. And I just could not get rid of this guy. I was debating between the two of them. They both look great. I liked using him because of it being Memorial Day, but I thought he looked so good there that I just decided to let him be there. A Civil War soldier, and I believe that's a Confederate soldier in that one. Shelley sent me some cookies. She makes the most fabulous bourbon chocolate chip cookies, and she sent me a box of bourbon chocolate chip cookies, and on top of the container that she had them stored in was happy 70th birthday. And that's about as crafty as Shelley likes to get. And it just tickled me, and I love it. And of course I'm going to keep it. And this is just a little background fun, and I stenciled a bird on there, but it was too watery and it didn't stencil. It was a fail, which is never a fail in art. And so I just took a pen, or my little pen, fine pen, and drew around it and embellished it a little bit, and that's it. And you saw this before. This is from Mary. This is was in my Easter stuff. And as you know, this is not just May. I've added some April stuff because I didn't have a journal in April. I just didn't. I was just too depressed in April. I didn't work even on my glue books or anything. This opens up. This vellum is really nice, and I have some sayings that I want to put on there, but I just put that little sticker on it for now. This is just the center cardboard piece, and I went to this art show, and she was just really, really very good. Precious memories. I loved visiting there. And that was, of course, before we were in lockdown. This is another card that that came with my Easter stuff, and a postcard that was sent to me by Shelley when she was in Ybor City and this is a vintage card from Ybor City, and I used to love to go there, and I went there when my son's band would play. Always fun, a lot of good memories. This I made a while back, and I've not ever done anything with it, and I thought, well, I'll include that for now, and maybe rescue it later to add, to do something with. But for now, and then I kind of like to hide that so that you have to make sure you pull things out to find it. Social isolation painting that was on my Instagram. Just one night was playing with my watercolors and just feeling maybe just a little blue. I was really needing to see some people. And it was really before all my party stuff and everything. And that has helped tremendously. I'm back. I was back before that because I started this journal. I think that's when I felt like I really needed to get busy with this journal and get busy journaling, because that's what brings out my my soul, I guess. So anyway, I'm just glad that you all like to watch it. Because I just love to share, and this is why I started my channel, so I can share it with at least one other person. Hopefully somebody would watch, and I love every one of you that watch. Again, this is one of the little doodles I made of my garden flowers. This is the dianthus. It's what we call pinks, and they're coming along very nicely. Didn't do anything here. Just added life is beautiful. This life is beautiful. Happy day. Happy day because I don't have bills like this anymore. That was back in the olden days. And boy, we always had a lot of things going on, for sure. Did a little doodling here on this just for fun, and as soon as I did, I think, oh good, I have a whole backside here to play with, because it felt really good to play with my watercolors. So I had fun with that. This was a tag. It had it had a pin pinned to the back, and I had to cut it off with my little knife like this. I just scraped that off, and I thought, well, I'll pin it on something that I want to wear. Actually, I'm not going to ever wear this. This was apparently a quilt show thing that that somebody made for people to wear at the quilt show to identify their group, probably. But I liked it, and I picked it up in the bins. And I could have pinned it to something, which I didn't really think about, but it's bulky, and now I have the pin to pin to something else, and I like it there. And I'm going to watercolor around that, because I still can play in my May journal, even if it's June and I'm playing in my June journal. This is memories. Grandchildren are God's compensation for growing old. And it's a thank you note to my parents from my daughter. And I think in this little bag, I have also an old slip from Joann's Fabrics. So I like having that, and I'll have a good use for that, but right now it's stored in there to enjoy. This book belongs to me. I've moved that in several places. This is another little journal tag. It was cut off of the other side of this. It was cut off the back side so that I could make this journal. And so it's cardstock, and it's like almost like plastic for some reason. But anyway, it fit really nicely, and I just put a little hole in there. Revisiting Grandma's Garden. Here's a J with birthday presents, just because. Guess what month this is? My birthday month. And I went ahead and I glued the glasses down. And I didn't want to take those off, so I just taped those to the side. But I do love this little card, and my little journaling card back there. Another page that I just love as is. I don't even want to cover it with anything. I just enjoy it. This is a card from my sister. This is the one in California, and she just wrote a very nice note in it and sent me a gift in it. And then I doodled a little bit on it and edged it because it was fun. And then I have this card here, and I stamped a little thing that has lines on it so I can write on the back of this. So that's coming. This, I love this. Bring It On. Celebrating the big 7-0. So that was fun. Put a little rocking chair up there and some sewing things because I'm an old grandma now in my 70s. And I just love this book. This book I tore these postal papers out of. It's celebrating Mexican, or I believe it's Mexican post office, or a South American post office, or another country anyway, and it's all in Spanish, and all the postcards are in Spanish, and I just absolutely love it, and I hate to cover up any of it. I cut those out every so often and add them to things. This is a garden. I hope to have lots of flowers this summer, and I love the little saying there, and it's a pocket, and I have cards that are coming still that haven't arrived for my birthday from people, and so I do have plenty of spots left to put them in here. This, I loved Revisiting Grandma's Garden. This is another page of this article, and I tore out most of the pages of that article when I was harvesting a magazine, and just love it. Put some stickers on there. This page here, I don't know if you can tell, that's the shimmery gelatos, and those were fun. I just was playing with those a little bit. And then I made this card last summer, but I put a little doll on it because it's my birthday, and when I was young, that's what I wanted. I always loved dolls. I love to have dolls. This is another little card, but the day after my birthday was Make Solo 2 Happen Day, and it trended on Twitter, and I was very excited about it. This is the second time they've had it. Last year was very successful, and this year they actually were even more successful with it. It trended on Twitter most of the day, and it trended #2 worldwide. And this is my son's campaign, along with the other 2 hosts of their Star Wars podcast. It is on YouTube as well as a podcast, and I'll leave a link to it if you're interested in Star Wars. But May 25th is Make Solo 2 Happen Day. And there was a lot of articles in the paper. It said, May 25th is a day the internet has decided to push for a second Solo. A Star Wars story film. It has its own Make Solo 2 Happen hashtag and everything. And then there were top stories about it all the way across. So it was a big deal for them. And it's a big deal that there are people participating in this, such as like Ronnie Howard and the guy who plays Chewbacca and other people that are connected with the Star Wars films. So anyway, I wanted to mark that as being an event that I participated in my birthday month. Couldn't have been May 24th. It had to be May 25th. But it was probably a good thing because he was very busy May 25th. And on May 24th, he was at my party. So yay, James. This page here was fun. I'm really lingering over this book, you guys. I'm just loving this book. Be in love with your life, every minute of it. And I love this. I put these little perfume stickers on there, and I'm going to have to glue that down, I'm guessing. It's just not in there really well. I colored that. If you are sad, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the now. And I did this for someone else because I don't live in the past. I'm never sad or anxious. I'm always feeling very peaceful. I did get a little bit depressed being inside for a while, and I think it was just because I didn't see or talk to anybody hardly for weeks and weeks and weeks, and that's just not like me. But my normal, I'm not an anxious, I don't ever have panics, or I don't ever feel anxious. I don't worry about things. I'm very lucky I am not a worrier. I worry when there's something to worry about. When something actually happens, I worry a little bit and mull on it how to fix it. And that's about the only time I worry. Anyway, this was in here, and this was a card from Leslie from Saguaro Chicky, and I just loved it. Isn't that neat? I just love it. And you know, I just want to make sure you can see it. I hate the glare on these books, and if I had a way of seeing my camera, I would. This I made a long time ago, but I happened to come across it, and I thought, oh, well, this is a good spot for it. It needs a home. It had been kind of just kicking around in all my ephemera, and it needed a home, so I gave it a home this month. You saw this page. We did this page together, I believe. I'm forgetting. I do love this little tag. That was the fun little tag. Oh, and I haven't ever done this with you guys yet. I'll have to do that. Where I stamp with glue, and then I have a bunch of these colors. I probably have 30 of these, and they're all different colors. These are there. That's 3 different greens right there. And I brought these in to do them one day, and I just didn't. 2 different pinks. But yeah, they're just so pretty, and they're so fine, and I was just so hoping they would be the kind that you melt with your heat gun, and it didn't happen. But this doesn't come off. Once it's glued on there, it doesn't come off. I just was able to get all the excess off. And so anyway, so I like that. Now that you've heard me talk about that again, hopefully there was somebody here that didn't hear the original explanation. Again, the May basket. In May, the flowers remind us that the rain was so necessary. And that's from Zan Oku. May Day is May 1st. And Live Joyfully. And I'm going to tilt that up so you can see that. The background color on there is the Shimmer watercolor from Jane Davenport. This is a day the Lord hath made, and it's just a pocket. It's a pocket. It's an open pocket, and I don't have anything written on that, but I just decorated the pocket up here. There's still spots to decorate. Here's another birthday card from my good friend Ginny, and I love handmade cards, and this was stamped with Stampin' Up! Stuff, and I don't know if she made it or if she bought it, but anyway, it's a beautiful little card, and it gives me a lot of pleasure to look at it. Look at those tall candles. Aren't those just as sweet as can be? Wish big, it says. I think that's a good idea. This I put on my Instagram. Go where I was watching a video, and I don't remember who it was. Has these wonderful magazines that are just chock full of illustrations and quotes and everything. Well, I stopped the video in one spot and sat down and tried to do my take on it. It was inspiring. I loved the quote, and I just had fun with that. Here's another postcard from Shelley. She is just so awesome. She sends me all these wonderful postcards. This is from Tampa, and it's the detail of a patio in Ybor City. So that's one of the restaurants. Is that just really super cool? I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll try to bring it up close. But I left that open as a pocket, and that turned out to be a nice little piece. Here's part of the postcard. It's got the little butterflies, ladybugs, and I covered up some of the numbers, and I was going to cover up all the numbers, and I thought, no, it looks too organized. I liked them to look scattered on there, but I did like the little mice pointing at them and laughing, having a good time. Just a cute little picture. And I tucked this in, You're a Real Gem, because emerald is my birthstone. And I've always claimed the emerald, but if you go by your astrological sign, I'm like May 21st to June 21st. So technically my birthstone would be the June birthstone. But since I'm born in May, I want the emerald. I have always loved the emerald better than any of the other birthstones anyway. And so I claim it. I'm sorry. I'm claiming the emerald. And then this just added a little bit of Mod Podge, some matte Mod Podge, and put that on there. I added this. I knew who I was this morning, but I've changed a few times since then. And Christina sent me this picture, and so I drew it on a leftover book page, and I just put it in here because it's just a reminder that in the month of May, I really worked a lot on my Alice book. So that's just my little nod to the Alice book that I'm working in. And maybe I'll do some more. I did another one, and then I gave it to my daughter because she seemed to, it seemed to be a good one for her to hang up in her office. She loves Alice anyway, and she was here, and I just, I gave it to her. Here's another one of my little roses, and it still looks good. It's been several days. It doesn't look like they're molding. They might, but it doesn't look like they're doing that so far, so hopefully. Now, the rest of the bouquet I emptied all the water out, and now I'm going to let it dry in the bouquet as it is. And when I was in Germany, well, we took a trip to Germany, and then we drove over to France. And we drove just a day through France, and we found this wonderful restaurant. It was like a 5-star restaurant in the middle of nowhere. It was like a walled city. And it was out in the middle of the country, and I don't even know where it was or anything. But when we went in there, it was beautiful. It was a gorgeous restaurant. The prices were astronomical. And all the decorations were huge vases of dried flowers. And they were all flowers that they had just let dry in the vase. And they were, you know, hung over and you know, crispy brownish and dried. And they were so appealing. I just loved it. So I'm doing that. I did it with the flowers that I got earlier this in April when my son brought me a bouquet. I saved those, and I saved some of my daffodils that way. So I'm trying a whole bouquet this time. But that was years ago in Germany, and that was a lot of fun. But I've never forgotten that whole restaurant. All of the decorations were dried bouquets everywhere. Huge bouquets in beautiful vases. And they were all just dried as how they did. They just like dried up in their vases. And they were gorgeous. Okay, onward. A little tag there. And miles can't separate us when we are close in heart. And I think about that when I think about my sisters and my children. So I thought that was a good quote for a map page. On here, this is from Linda, and I added a little stamp, but she sent this, and I really liked it. There's a little tag in there, inside. And then I put this on here, Ms. Jean Bainey's number, and I thought, okay, somebody's got my number. That's just my first thought when I saw that. I thought, I'm keeping that. I'm just going to tuck that in there. Somebody's got my number. Believe in yourself. I put these little cat. This was from a card that my mom had. She loved cats. And that just reminds me of my mom. It's one of her cards, and it's a cover. And I just really, really, really like it. And so that's a flip out, and I haven't put anything in the back yet, but I will, and it'll be something that reminds me of my mom and my birthday. I'm sure I have cards from when I was a child that are loose that I will run across, and that's where it'll go. This reminds me of my summer camp days when I was a kid. We always had to wear bathing caps. So that was that. Didn't do anything. Here's the other side of that letter that my sister sent me. And oh, there. Oh, I wondered where that went. That was another one of the journal tags. I would think I was looking for a home for it. This is eucalyptus leaves, and oh, they smell, oh, just divine, divine. And part of it is that I grew up around eucalyptus trees, so they remind me of childhood. Now this card, my daughter sent me, and look at this. There, it sets, okay, let me move this back. It sets, it's a pop-up card, and I put it in here so that I could pop it up whenever I wanted to, but keep it flat. And there's a little card in the front, and it says from Happy 70th from Michael and Shelley. So so that goes right in the front. And then it folds back down. Not in that page. Folds, oh yeah, there's my pretty fairy and child. But it folds back down, back of the book, and then that's it. Now I'm trying to figure out where this went. It didn't go here, but I'm just going to tuck it in there for now until I figure out where it was supposed to go. But that is my May journal so far, but it's probably the final flip through. I probably won't show you any more in it, but I will show you cards. There's a couple cards on their way, so I will show you those cards. This is just the perfect length because it holds it nice and tight, and that is a finished journal, and it's chunky. It's really chunky. I love chunky. I was watching a video today where they don't make it chunky, and I don't know, they just put the same stuff on it I'm putting it. I don't know how they get it not chunky, other than the fact that I think they removed a lot of pages. So so I might try that, because it was kind of nice to see it put in a bookcase like a normal book. But I just love chunky. It feels good. I just love how it feels. I love this journal. Now, there were so many pages, and May was so busy that I didn't even fill up all these pages. I put 20 pages in this. So 20 pages is 80 sides, because it's 40 times 2 on this side, and 20 times 2, which is 40 sides, 20 times 2, which is 40 sides. So that's 80 pages to fill up. And I think I did a pretty good job. And like I say, there's still things to come to put in here. So, I thought for June, which is not quite as busy of a month, and I have so many other things to do because I'll be starting my iCAD series. I made a journal, and I'm not going to show you the inside of the journal, but this is my June journal. I'm not going to show you the inside until I get started, but this is a sneak peek at my June journal, and this has 14 pages instead of 20 pages. So it's a significantly less number of pages to fill. And this time, instead of the pretty handmade beads, I did like that. I loved how that looked, and so I put little buttons on there, which I thought were just so pretty. And I put 2, instead of a wraparound this time, I put 2 eyelets in there, or grommets, I guess, in there. And this will just tie closed like that. And right now I'm using this. If I come across something prettier, I might do that, but it does match the binding, and it matches the that inside. So I thought that was fine. But I'm very excited to show you how I folded the pages and what pages I used and all that. But this is a sneak peek. I love this cover. And this is a file folder that I picked up at the bins, and it was torn. So I did have to tape some of it to be able to, there's a torn part there, and I taped it on the inside. It does kind of, I probably should put some tape or something there to fix that. But I loved it. And I have another half of this file folder to make another journal with. So I'm very excited about that. And I hope you like this sneak peek. The other file folder doesn't have any tears in it, but I thought I'll use the torn one first, because if I use the untorn one, I might never use the torn one. I might think, well, I've already done that. So, but anyway, this is nice. I also made a May journal, a journal like this with about 20 pages also for my sister for her birthday. And I forgot to film it. So maybe I can get her to, maybe when she comes back, she's going to stop back on the way after their summer of traveling. So maybe I'll get her to let me see how she filled it and show you what it looks like then. But I was going to film it before I gave it to her, and I totally forgot. But anyway, so this is my third journal that I made this month now. I made the May journal and the journal to give her for her summer travels. And June starts tomorrow. So so I'm going to get started with that, and this will probably have most of my iCAD cards in it. You do an index card a day, and I have some index cards, but I don't have 60 because iCAD, or 61, iCAD is all of June and all of July. So you do an index card a day or index sized card. And so I might do, I might find, that's pretty close. I might find, playing cards that are similar and use those to do my iCADs on. But, so that's going to be June. June's going to be about my garden and about iCAD. And my iCADs this year are going to have a garden theme. So this was just absolutely perfect, and I've rattled on and on and on. I should have done this on a live so that I could interact with you guys, but I'll probably pop in this week on an unplanned live. But don't forget, Friday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern, I'm gonna go on live again. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the May journal as much as I enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.